Hi YouTube, it's Dominique again. I want to come and talk about something that was just um, very unique to me, but so different than what I usually do on this page. Um, and that is being fearfully and wonderfully made. Just recently, for me, things have been happening in my life that come to really challenge me in who I knew myself to be, who I know myself to be. And I've really struggled this past month, really. Struggled this past month to be okay and love who I am and who I was created to be. I was looking over there for a second, but you're actually right here. But just struggling to be to love the skin I'm in. I know a lot of you ladies out there, now the new thing is like get a big butt and get a small waist and shoot your cheeks like this and do your eyes like this. And we have all these different things that we do to impress people we don't know, truly. Um, we have these different things that we do to be okay with who we are. And I was just reading Psalms 139 and 14, where the Lord says, well, not, excuse me, not where the Lord says, but where David says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know this full well. I had to check myself and go back and just say, Dominique, do you really know full well? Not partly, not kind of, not sometimes, but do you know full well that you are fearfully and wonderfully made? Um, and so then I start to ask myself, a lot of Christians, we say that, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And we say it and we say it and we say it, but it's kind of like, do we believe it? And do we really know what it means? And so when I think about being fearfully and wonderfully made, I think about this beautiful thought that God sets us apart and that He creates us uniquely. And so if I try to fit into a cookie cutter, then I basically say that God's work in me wasn't good enough. And that He kind of, I could have helped Him do a little bit better job. But to know full well is to say that maybe I don't look like her, or maybe I don't have cheeks like her, or maybe I don't smile like her, or maybe I don't laugh all the time. I know that that's a thing in my life with laughing. Sometimes I don't laugh all the time. Sometimes I don't smile all the time. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I'm just sometimes me. And I could find myself being really discouraged about being me, and trying to, like I tell y'all, I've done every exercise you could think of doing, every weight thing that you can think of doing, every diet you can think of doing, and nothing changed because I didn't believe it for myself, and I didn't love myself enough when I was trying to do those things. I was just doing them because I was like, I'm fat and I need to do blah 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 because of what somebody else told me. So it wasn't even because of how I felt about me, but it was because of what somebody else told me, what somebody else's preference was, what somebody else looked like or didn't look like. And so I found myself um, trying to meet. Uh, Trying to meet a standard that God or I never set for me to meet, you know, um, and not even meet because I exceed my own standard. But just thinking about, I don't want to ramble, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that when God created me and when He created you, He knew you before the world began. And He knew how your lips would look, how your eyes would look, how your butt would look. He knew all of those things about you. And He still loved you. He didn't say because you don't look like this or dress like this or talk like this, you're not accepted in the kingdom. Um, and so I challenge you, ladies, to sorry, my roommates are laughing out there, but I challenge you to love yourself as I challenge myself to do all the time. Love myself because things will come, and unconsciously, I had to cut my Facebook off because unconsciously I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not married, and oh my gosh, she's having babies, and oh my gosh, I don't look like this, and oh my god, and I would start to feel this like almost like a depression. It was bad. It was real bad. Um, but I had to like stop that comparison that robs us of the present moments. Like these present moments are really, really beautiful, and we can't get them back. I can't get this day back. Once it's gone, it's gone. But if I spend my time comparing myself to other people, then I waste my life away never being good enough, never being good enough, or in my own eyes, never being good enough. Um, and so that's just something I was just thinking about, and I decided to just share it with you all. My journey recently has just been trying to get back to a good place of loving myself and not um, doubting myself or comparing myself or just being in a really weird space of not being good enough or not feeling good enough, or pretty enough or light skin. And that's a thing. I'm just gonna say it is a thing. Light skinned enough or dark skinned enough or long haired enough. And I was doing these YouTube videos, which takes like, it's like an all day thing actually. But I was doing this YouTube video and I started to put on my lipstick and I was like, that color looks good on you, girl. And that hair looks. And I start to really appreciate and value myself a little bit more. And I started to get back to doing this because this truly was my outlet for me. Um, and so we need to have that self care. We need to do those things that are for us. Um, but just sitting here, just listening to the Lord and thinking about just songs that keep playing in my heart. I think about the one song by Patty, I think it was Patti LaBelle or Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, one of them people. But they talked about a rose is still a rose, baby girl, you're still a flower. He can't leave you and then take you, make you and then break you. But darling, you hold the power. So just thinking about that song and um, just thinking, y'all. I'm just thinking, and I'm just sharing my thoughts with you about me thinking, but just truly wanting to get back to a space where I love me. So, um, I think that's all. Just love you, girl. You look good. You look good. You, yeah, you right there. You're fearfully and you're wonderfully made. There's nobody in this earth like you. Don't get confused with what the TV says you should look like, what your boyfriend says you should look like, what your friends, what your mom, what anybody has to say about what you should look like. Love yourself. Um, and a song just came to my mind, sorry. But love yourself. And all those things that you desire will flow. They will just flow when you love yourself. Just like I talked about the exercising, it didn't work because I didn't love myself. Like I didn't love myself enough to just want to be good for me. I was trying to be good and look good for everybody else around me, and I was miserable. Um, and so I couldn't keep the diets, I couldn't keep the working out, I couldn't keep it because I was doing it for everybody else instead of doing it for me. Um, and so I'm on my journey. I'm on my journey back to loving me. Okay? So I'm done rambling for real this time. Y'all just have to tell me to stop. Just tell me to stop. But love yourself. You are fearfully, you are wonderfully made because the Lord said so. I didn't say it. He said it. Bye.